So this video will demonstrate how to use debugger in Visual Studio. So let's use the example for assignment 6. Remember our assignment 6, we have two struct defined. So here I will show you when we open the debug mode, not only we can see the data flow through the variable we define in the main. Also, you see here, if you have an object, you can also see the object data attribute from the debug mode. So let's start to set up debug mode. So the same thing why we need to use debugger is when you try to run your program, something wrong, then you don't know what happened. But you know maybe that error came from the code area. You see, for example, we have the parsing error. Then we don't know what's wrong with that. So then we see here that's all the parsing. So then we decide how about we just check each line to see how the parsing works correctly. So you move your mouse to the area. So here you see your mouse, I make the breakpoint. So that's the dot. You can just move your mouse to the shadow line here. So then see each statement where you feel like you want to get more information from there. So you left click on that. So then you set up the breakpoint. So then here, then we start with the debug mode, how we open. So when you open the debug mode, you just go to the debug. One thing is right, because usually our homework assignment, we want you to, especially for your assignment 5, you need to run on release mode. But here, if you want to open debugger, then you need to open the debug mode. So then that start running with debug. So then you see under the debug tools, you will see start debugging. So choose the start debugging instead of the start without debugging. So then you will run the program. So when you run the program with debug mode, they will still compile your program. So then once they pass the compiling and they can be run, so then they will start execute from the first line. Then when they see the breakpoint, so then they will stop. So here from your side, you may not see the output, but here I also have my console output is. Okay, so here, let me remove something. Okay, yeah, because I have that before for the assembly language. Okay, so that I close that window. So you can see here, after you open the debug mode, you see they stop here. You see earlier the red dot become an yellow arrow. So then besides that, so then you need to go to see your watch window. So supposedly here, underneath, you see on the bottom, you have some watch window, right? So you see click on the auto one. So if you choose on the auto one, they will automatically give you some information. So here, yeah, because the screen may be a little slow, a little small, so you cannot see that. But you need to compare it to your auto. So here, did you see I click the left button, they have the auto screen. So you see after you have the auto, right? So all those variables, they will display the value here. So we have buff. You see we have turn. So if you want, you can go down to see the turn, what other information you have. Okay, so then we even your function. And they also tell you the type and the value. So then you can see here in our buff array, they have the first line, turn, section, course, instructor, when and where. So then after you see, okay, correct, that's the buff value, right? So be careful when you have this line, you just have all the information before this line because they don't execute this statement yet. So then you see on the top, you go to continue. So they will go to the next statement. So on the other hand, we will have turn. So then you can see here, every time you go to the next line, right? So the value changed, they will display in the red color. So that's why you can see here, our turn, they get the value for the turn. So then you can do continue, you see all the data changed. So, and also you see the arrow change here. So we do one by one. Okay, so then until you see they come back to here, they didn't go down, right? Because this one, when we try to process the line by line, the first line is title. In the DVC scheduling, the first line we have the turn section. They only have title. When we try to find the course name, they don't have this dash. So that's why this line skipped. So then they go back to the while loop. So then you see now we continue. You see the new line now, the above is spring 2016. That's a math course. So then you can continue. You see all the value changed. So you see turn is spring 2016. So then continue. Then continue. Okay, so then you will see the new value. So now you see after we done this one, then you will see now we find the course. So that's why in our course we will show math-142. But then we will have our, we don't have a subject code yet. So now let's have the subject code. So now we see we have our class code is spring 2016 1236. So you have turn. And also anytime if you feel like I don't have enough information, if you want to add, you can add in other watch. So you see auto, they just show you what exactly original they have, right? So if you want, you can open the watch. So you add, so then I want to know the subject code. So you just type subject code. So then you will get your value. Okay, so continue. Actually here, if you find out you want to have more things, so far it's fine, right? So then you find out you have more things you want to continue to see. You can just continue to click the dot. So then we will see here when we do the duplicate check, we see if the turn found or not found, what they will do. Okay, so we add more. Okay, so then I can add a little later. Okay, so then you just see you can add more breakpoint on that. Okay, so now we continue. You see earlier that's here, right? So then you can continue. So you continue, you will see now it's watch 1. You go back to auto. Okay, so then you see number of turn is 0 now. So now we will see the first one. Okay, so since that's 0, so that's why you see we didn't find the already seen turn. But then we will add a new turn. So I equal to 0 is number of the turn. So then you see you add a new turn one by one. You see the number change, they will update the value. And also we see here, because already seen is an array, right? So then we will see here, you see already seen is an array. So that's why you see you can have the arrow here. You just open the arrow because that's an array. So then the array, they have value and the dummy value. So your array also is an object. So you just click on that object, they also will show you more information underneath there. So then you can check if the value is what you are looking for. And also here, since we have already seen I, okay, so then here they didn't show already seen I, right? So we see, can we open, we add the already seen. I. Okay, so I cannot, they cannot understand what's that. Okay, so if not, okay, so we delete this. Let's add more. We just do the already seen. Yeah, I think here, let's go back to here. Since we have already seen, right? And also we have the, they don't have seen section. So let me see the seen section. So earlier we tried to see, can we see the already seen I? Actually, we cannot do that. So that's what you should do is you just see the already seen. So then you need to see this already seen, they have value. So that's why you see they have value one by one. So we check the first array element. So you see you have spring 2016 is the term, then number of scene. So then they have the number. So that's the value. And also you can see they show you the type. Okay, so continue. This one is we find the term, right? So that's why if we want to see, we can see the next line. So you can go continue, continue. So then we will go to the next line. You see the next line you have new value. So that's another section in spring 2016. So that's the math 142 again. So that's why after we do the subject code, so then you will see here, continue, we go back to see if this term will be found. So then you see, because this one is, we have the original term, right? So you see they got here. Then, and also they got the break. So we break, we finish. So then because the I equal to 0, number of term equal to 1, so they are not on the new term we need to add. So that's why you see the next one, they will jump to here. So then you will see the already seen I, so then we need to add the new term. So, and also we check the term first. So we check the term, you see, because this section not see yet, so they won't come here. So they will jump to, they are not equal to that. So you see, continue. See, you can add more dot to do the debug when you just try to see more information. So then you see they get into here, so then we add the new section. Okay, so then we'll see because it's not duplicate, they didn't go to the next line, they come back to the beginning. Okay, so I hope this helped you to understand how to use the debug mode. I understand maybe the screen is a little too small, so that's why for the auto watch, you need to read to see the detail about the value. So the most important thing when you open the debug mode, your watch window is very important. You can have the existing value from the auto, existing variable you have to show. Or if those variables you want to see, they are not showing here, right? So then you just need to add another watch. You see they have watch 1. So then we can add the variable you want here to check the value. So that's the Visual Studio Debugger.